Hello, welcome to MindBody TV. I'm Dr. Kim DeRamo. I'm really excited to have you here to share about this very hot topic, perimenopause, menopause, what women go through with this major life change. And I guess it's kind of a pun intended because it's a hot topic. We can get hot flashes, we can get brain fog, we can get like mood swings or major shifts in our, inner um, well-being. A lot of times we can get diagnosed with weird illnesses that people don't understand, but this is actually related to this major cyclical change. If you are a woman or know a woman who is going to be approaching this stage, there are so many important things that I didn't know. I mean, even as a physician, like we're really, really not taught anything actually about this. And it's kind of left out of the medical field entirely. However, there are many new fields emerging in medicine, looking at women's health, looking at perimenopause and menopause, and what's actually happening during this change that can be so disruptive and how we can support it. So I'm really excited to share about this because I shared recently about my journey through some like weird symptoms that were happening, brain fog, fatigue, getting sick frequently. And lo and behold, this was related to that perimenopause period where your hormones are shifting, where your body is shifting, where your brain, every part of you is shifting into a new stage. And this is not like some pathology that we need to fix. It's actually our wisdom emerging in a new way. It's a new stage of life. And to the degree we are tuned in and in flow with ourselves, we can move through this very gracefully, very smoothly into this next amazing section of our lives. And so there are a lot of people looking at this. There's lots of information and lots of different approaches. So I want to share this so that there's not confusion, and that for yourself as a woman or someone who knows and loves a woman, there can be a lot of clarity. So we go through this as gracefully and fully alive as possible. So share where you're tuning in from. How did you find this broadcast? Are you new to the community? Welcome. And share what this means to you. Like, have you had weird symptoms that you're wondering, is this related to perimenopause? Is this related to menopause? A lot of times we're not really fully embodied as a woman. And guess what? This is the time to correct that. So it can be a really blessed time. But I want to hear what's your experience been with this. Have you been in the no man's land like I was, where I didn't even really know what was hitting me? And what does this mean to you? I'm really excited for your questions and to support you with what I have been learning. Okay, so welcome. What I want to start off with is what can be some of the symptoms of perimenopause, menopause. You might have heard of hot flashes or moodiness and mood swings and like the typical things a lot of women are experiencing. However, severe fatigue, brain fog, changing in mental capacity. Like I was noticing challenges with word finding. Like I'd have to kind of pause and then like I'd see the thing in my head and then I'd say the word. And this happened, it accelerated after I had my son, which was right around when I was 45 years old. That's a lot older than most people are having children. And another doctor did say to me, oh, this can be really challenging because you've had pregnancies later in life. It can be more symptomatic perimenopausal period. Well, I didn't really know about that. She said, because you've taxed your body to a higher degree, blah, blah, blah. So I sort of had to clear any thoughts and beliefs and fears that I had relative to that, or where I have pushed my body and just let my body reboot accordingly. But I didn't realize that like brain fog or difficulty word finding, because that can make some people think like, am I getting dementia? Am I getting some kind of early onset Alzheimer's? It can be really scary. You can look at hormone correction, but I'm going to talk about other things that are like way, way, way more powerful to reboot your body first before you go in that direction. And so sometimes the body can get sick and run down frequently. So there can be a lot of weird, vague, obscure things presenting in this perimenopausal stage. In fact, I remember hearing Marie Forleo speak about this And she was talking about how doctors were telling her, like, well, you're really pushing yourself hard. You're really doing a lot. And she's like, I've been doing a lot for 45 years. This is not new. Why all of a sudden is this happening? And so I felt the same way many times in my life. When I was pregnant with my daughter, I remember being really, really sick, lethargic, nauseous. All the symptoms they tell you is like, well, that's typical when you're pregnant. But at the time I thought, well, how come some women feel great when they're pregnant and other women feel like death and it's horrible? Is there something that can be corrected? Is there a mineral deficiency? Is there something we're not looking at that when corrected and adjusted could make this a lot smoother? And in fact, there was. So for those of you who know me, I always go through things with an inside out approach. As within, so without. Clear the path within first, meaning be a good receiver for what you're asking for. And so for me, during that stage with being pregnant with Gemma, I was so sick. I felt like crap. I actually felt like I had a urinary tract infection all the time. It was burning when I would pee. I felt toxic. I would come home from work and just lie on my bed and feel lethargic. I didn't want to eat. And I remember asking the doctor, what's going on? I was working with a midwife at the time, and there was no urinary tract infection. They couldn't find anything wrong. But I felt like, why am I so toxic? And so I did this inner work. Whenever there's like no outer solutions available, go within. What do I need to let go of, or what do I need to receive? And I don't remember exactly what it was at the time, but it was some inner resistance to having my needs met. And I think for a lot of women, especially when you're pregnant, it's a shift from like, oh, I got to take it easy now. Oh, I got to put my feet up. Oh, I got to let people do things for me a little bit more. Oh, I got to like not push it as hard, like go within more. That can be really uncomfortable. Like, I shouldn't be doing that. I got to be productive. So it's this inner battle between the masculine and the feminine. This is really, really important to the perimenopause, menopause conundrum. We are taught to mostly be validating our masculine, the outer and the productive and go, 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 do, do, do. Oh, I overcame this and I triumphed beyond that and I'm not going to let fatigue get me down. And we push. But then we've neglected the development of the inner, the feminine, the wisdom, the stillness. This is just as powerful for manifesting in our lives, right? They're both equally important and equally powerful. But this one, the feminine, kind of gets the shaft. And so then when we're pregnant or going through, a menopause change, we don't already have the tools to do what our body needs. And so during that period when I was pregnant, I had to more go within and I had to let go. Didn't mean I was like not still vested in my work. It just meant I had to like not prioritize it the same way and actually prioritize my inner to a higher degree than I was doing. And so spending more time just connecting with my body, I'm talking to the baby, I'm listening, right? Receiving. The feminine is the receiver, the masculine is the penetrator, right? Think penis and vagina. It's designed this way. But if I could be a better receiver, I'm more receptive, listening to my body, going within, softening, opening. This can allow major, major change and power to come in. And it was within like that very week. It was like the next day. I was at my osteopathic practice. So it was, a lot of sports medicine, people who were running triathlons, marathons, and like wanted correction in their body for avoiding surgery or fix my knee, fix my hip, fix my headache. So I was helping all these people. And this woman, I think it was the next day, came in and said, hey, I've got this water system and, this is really great. Might be something you're interested for your patients. Can I share this with you? Okay, sure. So she starts talking to me about recovery and, regeneration and how powerful this water system was. Turned out it was a Kangen water system with like a higher pH and blah, blah, blah. And then she mentioned, and it's also really great for women in the first trimester of pregnancy. And I'm like, ding, 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 ding. You're reading my mind, girl. So I let her finish her whole spiel and I said, okay, you just happen to be speaking to a woman in her first trimester of pregnancy. And if this works for me, I'm all in. And so she gave me the samples as we were talking there. And within like 20 minutes, I went from 0 to 100. I felt amazing. I got my appetite. I felt energized. I like all it rinsed away that like toxic um, feeling, the UTI feeling, the like kind of just achy and yucky. And I felt amazing. I called my husband up. I'm like, let's go to dinner tonight. Let's go out. I want to eat. I want to go out. This was like a totally new vibe. We ended up going out to a really nice restaurant that was like several courses, and I just ate and enjoyed myself so much. And it made a massive difference. And so the difference is like the masculine way of like, I'm going to go find the solution. You know, you can't knock down enough doors to find the needle in a haystack. But if you become receptive, and I'll talk about how this applies to perimenopause, the feminine, it allows the solutions to come to you. And that was certainly true for me then. Flash forward to this perimenopausal extravaganza. You know, I'm looking to correct my hormones. I'm looking to investigate what's going on. And it really wasn't until I like got more receptive, right? And that's always the way. It's just, can I be 2% more receptive to listen, to receive the wisdom, the insight, to soften the body. Like we're so taught to like go, 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 do. And of course, when it comes to your health, you want to like double down on that. That's not going to work. Can you balance out that inner masculine and feminine? Because we've been in a society where it really suppresses that feminine. And if you haven't had some correction of that by now, it can hit you really hard at this perimenopausal stage, because it's like, hey, last chance to rebalance that masculine and feminine. It's a really great opportunity for you. And so could you receive the symptoms as an indication of the needing for that rebalancing? I just spent some time with a really good friend who's also business owner, also total rock star entrepreneur, but she really wants a relationship. She wants a partner. She wants a marriage, maybe to have kids. And it was really foreign territory. Like it was so foreign to know, how do I ask for what I need? Because there's a man in her life and the guy's really attentive, but like missing the mark. And she just didn't know how to redirect him or ask for what she needed. And all of the ways she wanted to ask for what she needed, it was like, no, I can't do that. But after spending some time together, she really opened to the possibility of like, I'm worthy of getting my needs met. I'm worthy of being loved and cherished by a man. And that's a reflection of our inner masculine and feminine. Like, how are you treating yourself? Are you worthy of your own love? Are you worthy of rest? Are you worthy of the slowing down when you need it? Are you worthy of a life that nurtures you? And so your own inner masculine can nurture your inner feminine and vice versa. And then that can be reflected in a relationship. And sure enough, the day after we did some really deep processing on this, it changed her entire relationship with this particular man. And he's like, I want to hear how you feel. I want this. I want to know you. I want you to have your needs met. I want to make you happy. But it was her own, inner resistance to that was really mucking things up for her. And so, yeah, then we hit this perimenopausal period. And it's like, are we in resistance to ourselves? Because it's kind of hit hard. And then our hormones are imbalanced and our liver's like toxic and overloaded. And, the liver's where the hormones are generated. And so for me, yes, there was a lot of like toxic buildup in the liver where I've like not ever given it the reboot it needed. So it couldn't do the regenerative work it's needing to do at this stage. So I'm going to talk about that solution. There were my own inner masculine and feminine of like pushing, overdoing it. Yes, let's celebrate that. But my own inner relationship between my masculine and feminine of pushing, overdoing it, and sort of like neglecting my needs. It wasn't that I was like abusing myself or just, consciously suppressing it. I just hadn't tuned in to the degree, this new level, always, always, always increasing to a new level of serving ourselves, serving the capital S self. So this is not like selfish. That's where the feminine gets a bad rap. It's like, don't be selfish. Yeah, no, be capital S selfish. Put the true self first, because everybody wins when we do. And so I had to up my game of being willing to be in the body, because the feminine is sensing, feeling, tuning in. That's where our wisdom is so accelerated. Slowing down. When you're overwhelmed, slow down, right? When it seems like you want to double down and go faster, do just the opposite. If you want to go further, slow down, tune in. And so this made a huge, huge difference for me. And I want to share a couple resources for this. One is I created a course called the Alive Woman course. And I created in the past when I was working with women and doing these group retreats and realized, well, there's a lot we could do before we even arrive at the retreat that would allow us to go so much further in this work together. So I created Alive Woman and put in a 4-week series, trainings, tools, audios. There's a meditation to open up the pelvis and release the old emotions, to open your circuitry so that you hear your inner wisdom clearly like never before. And when women went through this course, it was absolutely incredible. We had women that just live streamed us with just the course that weren't able to go to the retreat and had massive, unthinkable breakthroughs in their health. And so that's my first recommendation. And I'm going to share the link for that. Even just one of these audios can drastically change your relationship with your body. Because a lot of women are like, no, I'm good. I'm meeting my needs. Yeah, you haven't even slowed down and tuned in enough to realize what they are. So if something's not resolving, no matter what you do, this is a major key. So I'm going to share that resource. Another awesome resource, it was so powerful for me recently, was the medical medium does this mono detox diet. And he does another liver cleanse called the 369 diet. And in his book, it's called Cleanse for Health. Cleanse to Heal. I'll make sure to include the link here. He talks about like all the huge amounts of crazy medical diagnoses people are suffering from, that this kind of reboot can assist in clearing. And he's helped thousands and thousands and thousands of people reverse disease. And the way, just like what I'm doing in my work, the way Anthony Williams, the medical medium, is getting the information is directly through source. It's not like, well, studies show blah, blah, blah. And so therefore I think, and like kind of coming up with this dogma. And then we get all this information about you should only be eating protein, or you should never be eating fat, or you just got to avoid carbs at all cost, or, there's just, it's always changing, right? Because it's random and it's dogma and it's not actually truth with a capital T. So this is an awesome resource. And I had amazing results just with the mono cleanse. It was like a 7-day reboot. And I really felt my body able to regenerate to a whole new level that was, like before having had kids. It just let my body reboot from a lot of stresses and challenges that I'd gone through as a woman, hormonally, with pregnancies and breastfeeding and just like doing my life, that were creating recurrent problems. So that was a huge reboot for my body to just like turn off, reboot, allow a major detoxification. Hey, nothing wrong with that. Another thing is, you can get your hormone levels checked, get your hormones optimized. There's ways to get like a pellet, so you're getting a regular dose of testosterone or estrogen or what may be needed. Not always optimal for everybody. There are patches or creams. You can't usually take hormones orally for the most part because they get destroyed in the stomach and they're not going to really be active and reach the bloodstream. So you got to put a patch or a pellet or some other way that it gets delivered, injectables. This can be really tedious. And I found for me, it didn't actually meet the mark. Like I've done it all. But that the reboot to let my body sort of release the toxic load and regenerate made a much, much bigger difference. And then the third solution is like all of the inner work of that balance of your masculine and your feminine, the outer, the doing, the make a difference, penetrate the world, be productive, and the inner, receptive, listening, tuned in, soft, still, like all of the things that get a really bad rep in our society, like you're worthless if you're not productive, or like, what are you, lazy? You're just going to lie around. It's absolutely horrible how much we've learned to suppress the inner feminine. And then we're like at a loss for solutions, major things needed in our life, like love in our relationships, connection with our children, solutions for their challenges. And then, of course, our own health challenges that may emerge. And you're just not going to find it until you activate that inner feminine. So I think the most important resource is what I've put together in the Alive Woman course, because this was everything that has helped me navigate my life, like how I even found my husband, how I even got pregnant. It was like 38 years old. I was almost 40 when I met Mario. This was a miracle. You will find needle in the haystack solutions come to you, right? Because it's like the flower draws the bee in, or like, yeah, you have honey to attract more bees rather than like going out and trying to catch the bee. Like, you become receptive for everything your heart is asking for when you tune in to your feminine. And it does take courage, right? Because you can be maybe up against a lot of your own belief systems. No, I got to go. I got to push through this. Or if I just develop more stillness, then I'll be nothing. And it's a total lie. I'm more powerful, not less. I'm more effective and more creative and more productive, because your feminine feeds your masculine. And I can do more with less efforting and less time working and less doing, because I've cultivated a powerful inner feminine. So that is one of my most emphatic resources. You'll do a lot of emotional clearing work on that whole inner schism that you might have of like, maybe you just like put this away entirely and like, nope, I don't feel anything, I'm good, and you've suppressed your emotions. This is a major time to heal. So if you are dealing with like perimenopause, or you don't even know, maybe you're like, I don't even know what this is, it's time to tune in, because your wisdom does. And it will show you what needs to be seen, what needs to be adjusted, what needs to be corrected, so that you can move through this stage of life as fluidly as possible and let it be your best stage of life. Because when you open to the feminine, there's fulfillment. It's not only health, and yes, greatly assists liver detoxification. Ding, 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 ding. So hormone production increases. Your skin is brighter and more radiant. Yes, all of that. But it also allows you to be in the seat of your womb wisdom. There's so much wisdom in the female body. There's so much wisdom for men and women in the inner feminine, or the receptive space. So share in the comments here any challenges, major, big, like impossible conundrums that are coming up for you, because these are ready to change. What is it you're experiencing? Is it a health challenge? Is it something with menopause, perimenopause, or like the emotions or the hot flashes or other symptoms, brain fog like I had? Or is it a challenge with your child or someone you really care about, or your relationship or your money, or blah, 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 right? It's going to get your attention. What's ready to change? Because the more you connect with that inner, the wisdom, the stillness, you got to sort of slow down to allow that connection, the more powerful miracles will show up in your life. So lots of love to you. I'd love to hear from you. Keep tuning in to MindBody TV. We're here each week broadcasting a new episode live at 11 a.m. Mountain Time on Wednesday. I love your comments. I love your questions. Our coaches are standing by in the MindBody community in Facebook, so you can ask the questions there to go deeper with this work. And I will keep the resources coming for me and for you. Lots of love. And I'll see you soon. Make sure you subscribe, like, allow more people to find this work in the social media platforms. And we'll keep expanding in this realm of real medicine. Bye.